Let's go. The name is Law Nation. Really appreciate you for tuning in. Let's continue to grind to shine. One day at a time, one movement at a time, brick by brick. Let's stack this together. Mama said there'll be days just like this. As they say, life like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Stephen Jones said, we have to have a plan to extend. Come on. Yo. They say, really ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Law Nation groove? Good morning to you and you. Come on. As the room fill up, hit that like button, share this content, join the movement, join the nation. Come on. Win, lose, or draw, law is here. Come on. Are you and you and you. No doubt. Come on. Five, 4, 3, 2. Come on. And 1. Come on. What's good? What's up, man? How y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling? How are you guys feeling? Appreciate you guys. Do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. Share that content. Share it all around. Let people know, man, that this dude, Law Nation, he's live, baby. Like 95, baby. Let them know. And also subscribe. Only if you want to. Only if you want to. And that's just the reality of it. All right, so let me know if the audio's straight. Shout out to your big time show. Appreciate you, Heartland Cowboys. Appreciate you, Action Jackson. Appreciate you, Texas T. T-E-E, not T-E-A. Texas T. Appreciate you. And Eric Glover, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining in. And let me know if you guys shared. Sharing is caring, especially around this time when everything is slow, it's desolate, no news, and then, us content creators be looking for stuff, right, to talk about. And all of a sudden, I try not to do sensationalism stuff, right? I try not to have you guys clicking on the video just for hopes that made some breaking news and stuff like that. I don't try to do all of that with you guys. I don't say. With the 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys are now trading that for. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me find that button right quick. Breaking news, the Cowboys are moving up to the first overall draft pick for the 2023 draft. They are now selecting, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do your boy like that. No, I ain't going to do y'all like that. I ain't going to do y'all because I love y'all. Y'all love me? Do you love me, baby? So the Dallas Cowboys, let's get right to it. The Dallas Cowboys, Stephen Jones, said that he got to extend Dak Prescott. Last night, we talked about a few things about how the Cowboys can clear up $59 million, and that extension is part of, let me see if I can pull this up on the fly right quick. One of the extensions would be part of the conversations on how you can get or how you can arrive to that. And shout out to my guy, Cowboy, Outlaw Cowboy. Let me pull this up right quick. Bear with me, Cowboy Nation. And boom. All right, so we in there. All right, so the Dallas Cowboys can extend Dak Prescott for $22 million. Restructure Zach Martin. Don't say Martin, Martin. Just say it like me, Martin for $9 million. Cut Zeke and Tyron, $24.5 million. Cut Jordan Lewis for $24.5. And on top of that, of course, this would total the money of $59.5 million, which we can round that up if you want to say $60 million that the Cowboys can just press buttons. Now, there are two ways we can look at this. One way would be, man, Law, I'm tired, Law, man. I can't stand Rain, Dakota Prescott. I can't stand him. That's how some people are going to feel about when you hear the news of John Stephen Jones saying that he's about to extend Rain, Dakota Prescott. That's how some of y'all feel. That's how y'all feel right now, And then there are some people that will look at this and look at it and say, you know what? Yes, we went 12-5 last year, and yes, we went 12-5 the previous year, and yes, if 12-5 is the new 8-8, 8-8, at least these guys are building upon playoff experiences. And if we went 12-5 last year with a guy by the name of Noah Brown and a 33-year-old guy, T.Y. Hilton, and even with the mindset of Ezekiel Elliott, who a third of you guys are saying that it's washed, right? And if you went there with a guy that was creating plays with Crayolas, you know what I'm saying? Not crayons, Crayolas, right? And you managed to get to 12-5 there. What will we look like if we add more and more weapons, more and more opportunities? Well, let's do that. Let's extend Dak Prescott. Let's put more weapons around Dak Prescott, and let's rock for the 2023. Who's with me? Who's with Law Nation? Let's put more and more weapons around him. Let's figure out a way to put a big body down inside on the defensive side. Let's figure out another way to understand that, yeah, Trayvon Diggs did his thing, but let's go ahead and elevate another DB. Let's figure that out. Who's with me? If you with Law, just type LAW in the chat. If you with me. Where y'all at, man? Y'all ain't leaving me by myself, but those are two ways we can really look at this, right? Some people say, nah, Law, I ain't with you, man. Let's get rid of Dak, man. I'm tired of seeing number 4 out there, man. I don't care if he was man of the year, man of the decade. I don't care about all of that, bro. Come on, man. Shout out to you, Matt. Let me see if I can get your information up here on the screen. I really appreciate you so much for tuning in for the nation, Matt. Matt says, hey, how are you doing today, Law? We got to sign Wagner and sign or trade for a good wide receiver. And your best. Enjoy the show today. Keep up the good work. Law, appreciate you, fam. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. People like you are the reason why we can do these type of things on random times and things like that because of the support of the nation. I really appreciate you. One-Hand Bandit says, need to make sure we extend Dak before Lamar and Jalen get their bag. That's truth. Yeah. That is the truth. We got to do that. We got to do that. We must do that, by the way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We must do that. There's no other way, ladies and gentlemen. When we look at everything and we contextualize everything, let me see if I can pull this up while we all right, that's the money part of it. I think I went too far. Hold on. It is the money part of it. But we will circle back to that. Let's go right here. Can you guys see that on the screen? Just bear with me. All right, so looking back at the decision of Amari Cooper, we're going to go right here. What do the Cowboys have to do to get by the divisional round? And here's what Stephen Jones have to say at the Combine. So he's at the Combine. Let me see if I can save this. Just bear with me. Bear with me because it's too big on the screen, Appreciate y'all so much. While I pull this info up, give me one good seconds here, or a few good seconds here. That's a better way to say it. And I appreciate you, One-Handed Bandit. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, I'm clicking on everything now. Boy, we rolling, boy. That's what it means that we're rolling. And when you roll this way, sometimes things get in the way. But neither here nor there. As the show getting off of its rails here, bear with me. Boom. I know it's more than one way to skin this cat. All right, here we go. Here we go. Boom. I know it's a lot on the screen, but I got to see it all. All right, here we go. And he says, I think we got to be better, be one click better, right? And we seen and heard about this before. I mean, we were right there and we just had some things. If a couple of things go our way, then you're in it. But at the end of the day, we got to have our key guys, right? They're all got to play one click better. Now, when we say one click better, and I'm just trying to make it a whole lot prettier so you guys can read this, and I'm going to paraphrase the rest of this. We got to have one coach click better. We got to have our guys to play one click better if we're going to go anywhere. I mean, to have it to be the best. Let me see. We can go all the way back here. y'all, please bear with my hooked on phonic eyes right here. Because you know what? Bump all this because I can't see it myself, man. I'm getting old over here. I'm getting too old for this, man. Y'all know I'm getting too old for this, y'all. I can't see none of this stuff. My dog it. Shoot that down, Law. Riggs! Y'all just gonna have to take my word for it, Riggs. I can't see nothing, Law. It's too wild, baby. Riggs, y'all with me though? Basically, he said that I'm just paraphrasing from here, man. I couldn't see all it. It was like, man, I thought it was hieroglyph for a second. It was just too much in me. Just read, bro. I couldn't, man. Won't you call in and read it out for me, man? I couldn't read it, man, because it may look big on your end, but it was tiny on my end, so I couldn't read it. But you just got to take my word for it, fam. You just got to take my word for it. Basically, he said we got to be one click better. You know what I mean? That's just what happened there. All right, so matter of fact, let me see if I can go another way. It's always more than one ways to scare this cat. Baby, I promise y'all. That way, I thought I was going to be able to do it on the fly, but I couldn't, man. All right, so Stephen Jones wouldn't get it into the Cowboys' upcoming decision regarding Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, but said on the franchise tag, we not afraid of the tag. That's what Jones said, right? End of the day, we'll probably use it again this year. Pollard is a prime candidate at a cost of a $10.1 million franchise tag. Now, that's his hip on that. I thought, let me start proofreading a little bit better, y'all. I promise y'all, I apologize. Where is that doggone article? Here it is. It was way down here. All right, so bear with me. The show is all off the hedges here. But trust me, it's a bumpy ride, and I can't find out where Todd Archer had the quote of where we got to extend Dak Prescott. Let me see. God dog it. This is a classic sign that you got to prep before you go live sometimes. All right, I'm going to find it one way or another, y'all. It was Bobby Belt, so let me retweet it. Oh, my gosh. All right, so, dog, y'all bear with me, man. Appreciate you. All right, so here's how we get back to it. I go here, I go there, and boom, I retweeted it. It was actually Bobby Belt. relevant quote from Todd articles, right? We got to have a plan to ultimately extend Dak Prescott. Woo! Quote unquote. It took me a minute. It took me forever to find that quote. I promise y'all, I want to quote the sources. And what I was saying is basically, when we go back, I got to go back all the way this way, and I go back to my account, and then I go right here. We start off with this right here. All right, woo. All right, so let me go back and talk about the franchise tag for a second. Y'all see what I had to do to build the play? Lord, you built the play, but dog, you forgot the instructions, man. Down is up is down. You know what I'm saying? But this is what the thought track of the Jones family, they've been a thorn in our side for a long time, not a short time. And the thorn in our side was or is the franchise tag. He said that he is not afraid to use and utilize basically the franchise tag, which would be $10.1 million. I've been campaigning for the Cowboys to get away from the franchise tag, to stop using said franchise tag. Why, Law? Because you can't extend the money, you can't spread out the money, and the money once it's gone with the franchise tag. I appreciate y'all so much for your love and adulations and bearing with me. So Stephen Jones, in my opinion, is one of those guys that did just what I just did. He is not going into details on how to thoroughly look through a plan and masterfully go through with it. Why, Law? Because everything seems as if though it is being built on the fly, like I just did this show. It's literally from the Jones family and from the Jones account. It appears that they are doing things on the fly. And my thing is, if you want to win a Super Bowl, if you want to win the biggest and the brightest and the best of the stage, you got to plan accordingly. And this was his thoughts on Michael Gallup. I think Gallup, we probably should have been a little more conservative. You know, most guys coming off of an ACL, especially skilled guys, hear me out, may take a little time. I think Gallup going to be back in the same form, a best form in 2023. Here's my thoughts. How many of you guys heard me say last year, dog, we probably need to get another wide receiver to help complement CeeDee Lamb? How many people heard me say that, right? Show of hands if y'all went Law on that. You know what I mean? Show of hands. All right, so here's a question. Here's a super chat, too, from One-Handed Bandit. I'm going to read this one correctly. You know what I mean? Hey, Law, I have a question. With all this hate on Dak and how much he is getting paid, did they do the same with Romo? I didn't start watching football until 2016 or until 16. Yeah, it was the same hate, man. It was the same hate. The internet just wasn't as brash as it is now. But Romo got his fair share of hate, and Romo was by far one of the most hated Cowboys of all time. And put it like this. Kids would dress up as Romo for Halloween. They would put black circles around their eyes and the cask and get a Romo jersey. And people would say, yeah, you know, that's Tony Romo for Halloween, for real. That's just how it goes. So it's one of those things, whereas the Dallas Cowboys, when you are as good as the Dallas Cowboys, historically, right, it makes it even much of a harder challenge, right? And that's just the reality of it. I wish I can say it any other way, but it's just how it goes. My guy with another super chat, he says, you're welcome, Law, no reasons. Add few pieces in free agent. We $60 million in the bank. We can sign and get good wide receiver. Tag is bad for business. Love your Cowboys Nation. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Jeremy says Prescott is the most hated Cowboy, and I feel you. I feel you. Wagner too. Appreciate you, fam. Boy, you on it, man.
Spartan! What is your profession?
Well, y'all on it. All right, so here's the only thing. I appreciate you so much, Matt. I thank you. Prescott is heading that way, right? Prescott is heading that way to where Romo hatred level been. Now, the only reason why I say that, if Prescott have another year like he had last season, then he will be the most hated, right? Because he will be a guy that went 12-5, 12-5, or back-to-back or 3 times in a row playoff time, and then, and if he were to lose it all, then, of course, he will be revered that way. But to Prescott defense, he haven't played for 14 years. I think, didn't Tony Romo play for 14 years? How many years? Can somebody put that in the chat, right? So the expectations always been high. But when you are a team like the Dallas Cowboys, hear me out, and y'all be sure to hit that like button while I set this up. If you are a team like the Dallas Cowboys and you have the legacies of Roger Staubach, the legacies of even Troy Aikmans and what have you as it relates to quarterback play, the expectations are always going to be way up here because you're filling in those shoes. One Super Bowl will be success, a massive success. One Super Bowl you'll look at Dak Prescott completely different, right? Tony played 14 years, so Dak played half of those years, right? So we got at least 7 more years to correct these little issues here. The problem is fans, they lump the non-successful years or the inefficient years of Jason Garrett all under one umbrella, right? They lump in the 5-11, 5-11. They lump in, and that's with Dave Campo. They lump all of that in together without context, and they say, okay, this is who the Cowboys are, right? All right, One-Handed Bandit says, NFL just posted a picture of Zay Flowers. Difference in weight. He went from 170 to 183. He looks a bit bigger. He would be a great weapon to draft. How tall is Zay, though? How tall is Zay? And those are things. And I also heard that Hendon Hooker, he will not be throwing today. One Super Bowl is for my guy C. Burles. The one Super Bowl that can be a Hall of Fame caliber. Yeah, just take one. Just take one. All right, so let's talk about this before I get off of the subject line here. The extension. I think most of you guys said that you guys are on the extension pathway, right? Y'all all agree with the extension. I only seen like 1 or 2 people who will be willing to not to extend. All right, so with that extension, hear me out. Who should we go out there and target? Should we build upon defense or offense? I want to know from y'all. Common sense, appreciate you. Romo had Sean Payton in Parcells. Dak had Garrett, Moore, and Lanahan. Come on, man. I think that Payton really didn't count that much because he was on his way out. Parcells, I would go to my grave and think that if Parcells would have been here longer, right? And I think that there would have been a Super Bowl in here. Or here's my thoughts of it, and this is a great common sense. It's a great super chat. I think that there would have been a Super Bowl in there, even if these two things happened. If Parcells would have somehow stayed longer, or Sean Payton would have been the very next coach from Parcells. I really believe that. I'll go to the grave thinking that. But I feel you. Garrett, Moore, Lanahan, all that's their tree. And technically, Lanahan is not a tree of Garrett, right? There's really The only branch from Garrett is actually Kellen Moore, believe it or not. Even though Moore probably learned everything from Lenihan. But from what I know, how the trees work is who was the head coach and who did you work under, right? But that's a whole nother storyline, and I really appreciate y'all. And y'all on it today, baby. And then we'll open up the phone lines for a few. Is Duggan throwing since Jerry also said he like him, but I would rather us go get the hooker? I feel you, one-handed bandit. I don't know. That was just reports that came upon me. Y'all be sure to hit that like button, share this content, though. I appreciate you. One thing I want to say, can we have great players? We have to save the money. It is Jones. Don't want to spend it. I want Wagner, good wide receiver, defensive tackle in the free agent time. Here's my thoughts with this, Matt, and I really appreciate you. Shout out to Sadiq. Appreciate you, LaToya. Thank you for being part of the nation, too. The Jones got to spend his money. They got to. They got to stop using money as a crutch. Right? And also, they got to figure out a way to solidify it on the defensive side and maximize the offense. The Jones family, and I'm putting them all under one boat, one umbrella. I'm putting them all under there. We will be right about a situation. And I'm talking about we as content creators. Can't just say YouTubers because we also on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok these days. So, some people like to limit us and say, hey, y'all YouTubers. No, we on multiple outlets, right? Content creator, even on Twitter. And Roku and Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So, content creators. We will go out and say X, Y, Z. These are the things that the Jones family did wrong. And a third of the people will be fighting us saying, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then it would take forever in a day for the truth to get out of his bed, to put on his shoes, and walk up to the door and say, hey, I'm the truth. All what you heard all year were lies, right? It takes that long. The truth takes its time. It don't rush. And we will be sitting here on the limb all year, be considered a fool, right? For the whole year. And then when the truth come knocking, then y'all say, oh, man, you know what? That dude Boss Cowboy was right. Hey, you know what? That dude OC was right. Hey, you know what? That guy over there, Big Gabe James, was right about this moment. Or, man, don't y'all know Law was right along, right? He was right with them. You know what I'm saying? And or Vach or Skywalker or my guy, Mr. Rome, Jay Tuck, all of those boys, right? It takes a long time for that truth to manifest itself into the reality, right? So those are problems when we call out the front office. Not a lot of people, y'all follow along with us, but it's just how it is. Nah, man, the Notorious B.I.G., he's the first one that came out with that song. Nah, Notorious B1 was. You know what I mean? But nobody believed Notorious B1. Oh, man, he from Mississippi, dog. Nobody listened to that, And then the truth, it took for over 20 years for the truth to roll out of the bed. And it took his time. If you think I'm lying, type into your search engine, Notorious, not B.I.J. Just type in Notorious B1, and Notorious B.I.G. then already made famous, then died, and you know what I'm saying? Legacies and everything, but...
Thief! Stop! Thief! Come back, thief!
Free agent for the defensive tackle. This is from my guy, LT. I remember when you was on my guy, Okoye's channel. LT says, and that's my initial too, so me and you going to have to arm wrestle for it. All right, I appreciate you, LT. But he says, FA, free agent for defensive tackle / linebacker, then draft a wide receiver, offensive line, defensive back, in no order. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dre Maddox says, yeah, Notorious B1. Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate you, Dre Maddox. You know, somebody got my back over there. You know what I'm saying? You know, look at them people over there. Hey, man. Dude took that man flow, style, and everything, cadence and everything. Baby, baby. It was all a dream. Nah, it wasn't no dream, dog. It was all I was taking. I was writing down his lyrics. I was writing down his cadence, his style. You know what I'm saying? Oh, allegedly. You know, come on, Puff Daddy, man. Don't come get me, man. You know very well who we are. Yes, indeed. I know very well who y'all are. Yeah. Y'all ain't finna come get me. Come on. Yes, indeed. You're welcome. Appreciate you. And just to see about arguing about money is sad to you. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah. Let me see. It is sad to yours. You the best. Law, appreciate you, man.
Dracarys.
Thank you, man. Yes, indeed, man. All right, y'all. Look. Let me get this thing going the best way possible because I know how Mondays goes. Mondays. All right. And then tomorrow, or it'll be some analysis. A little later on tonight, y'all stay tight because there's going to be some more reviews and film analysis and things like that. Appreciate those who pointed out Darnell Washington for me, man. I appreciate you, man. I didn't know who the kid was. And then you guys showed me that, and I was like, all right, cool. This dude is pretty good. I wouldn't be mad now at looking at a tight end if we utilized it, said tight end right. All right, we got another super chat from One Handed. He says, another question for you, Law. I know Ramsey is 30. Is he already 30? I thought he was approaching 30. But if Jerry traded the 26th pick for Ramsey, would you be happy about it? Would it solve the CB2, and would you pay him $17 million over 3 years on his contract? You know very well. All right, man. Here's my thoughts. That means the Rams done fleeced us. Right? That means the Rams done fleeced us. The only thing that I would give up for Ramsey is a 3rd round draft pick or a 5th round draft pick, 3rd and the 5th, right? I would do those two things. But I would not give up my precious 26th pick. I would not do that. I think that the Rams are literally shopping him before they cut him. The Rams are 25 to maybe close to $30 million over the cap. And it will be the Cowboys panicking. And I would rather for the Cowboys, in my opinion, one hand, is to go out there and draft a Joey Porter Jr. Granted, it'll be an unknown. Or I'd rather for them to go draft a Cam Smith. I know it's the unknown. A Devin Witherspoon, if he's there. I know it's an unknown. I would prefer, believe it or not, if let's say Gonzalez somehow fell to like the 20th pick or something, I would rather for us to trade up, right? If you're really thinking that he is the solution for your CB issue, to trade up from the 26th spot all the way to the 20th spot versus giving up that 1st round draft pick for Jalen Ramsey. Now, there comes and pros with everything, right? Jalen Ramsey would help us tremendously one-handed. He would absolutely help us. He would not hurt us. He would not hurt us. But there would be too much of giving the L.A. Rams too much for him, especially when you can sit back and do your own homework and do it yourself. But I feel you. The 17 over 3 years of his contract, that's just the price of doing business. I think that for a good DB, you're going to have to pay anywhere between $17 and $22 million. You're just going to have to pay that. You just got to prepare your mind to say, okay, those are the things that I'm willing to pay. All right. Josh Allen, this is from Texas T. Josh Allen, I appreciate you for the super chat. Has 17 picks equals he's a risk taker, right? Dak has 17 picks with a broken thumb. CD in a bunch of 3s and number 4s. He is a bad quarterback. You know, when we talk about legacies, and I said this before, the greatest quarterback out of Buffalo Bills history is Jim Kelly. That's all they got. That's all they got. Maybe you can throw in when Drew Bledsoe was there for a cup of coffee. I don't know who else been there in Buffalo, right? But that's it. That's all they got is Jim Kelly, right? So when they went and got, and I know somebody can say, no, allow Mark Ripken and whoever, you know. But when they went and got Josh Allen, he was revered to be the second coming of Jim Kelly, right? So it's always when you have a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, they're going to be compared to Roger, Troy, and believe it or not, you know, Danny, right? And then, of course, Tony Romo. So we got a lot of quarterbacks that we will be compared to. But Allen would never get scrutiny because he playing Buffalo. Man, ain't nobody watching Buffalo like that. It's cold out there, you know. But that's just how it goes. Nate Peterman. Yeah, that's another quarterback that they had over there. So, yeah, it would never be equal. It would never be. Just like even what Joe Smooth is doing, you know. Joe Burrows, who's the greatest quarterback in Cincinnati's history. Boomer Esiason, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to be like, hey, you know, he's great, you know. Or of course you can say Carson Palmer, but you know how that goes with Andy Dalton. But those are not things that they're going to have to answer questions for every day they go in the locker room. And people got to contextualize that. My guy Matt, again, we have money. Don't get fooled by the Joneses. We deserve better, Cowboy Nation. Love you guys. That's what I'm saying, Law. Oh, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, you know. I thank you so much, man. All right, we got any more super chats? That's all of the super chats. I appreciate you so much, and that's a good follow-up there, Matt. I thank you so much. Let me get this going.
Call my phone, hit my line.
Burrows is great. I ain't taking away from that. Now, Burrows is nice. I'll be a fool to say he's not. You know what I'm saying? Burrows is good. I ain't saying that he's not. All right, so the topic of this hour would be how you feel about the extensions of these players and what should we do with the money. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And are you with the cut of Ezekiel Elliott? Those sorts of things, right? So we're going to talk about all of that. Appreciate y'all so much, man.
There is one other participant in the conference.
And the philosophy talking, too. All right. I got the first caller of the hour, and his name is Coach Marv. Appreciate you so much from the 803. You're live, Coach.
What's going on, Law? How you doing, man?
All is well. I can't complain, Coach.
Man, listen, man. I got two real pointed things that I want to shoot out to you. So something you can marinate over and think about, because I think it'd be a good thinking point for the Cowboys. And it's an understanding type thing. One, we're not trading for Jalen Ramsey. And I'm going to tell you why. If you trade for Jalen Ramsey, you're already saying that, okay, we're moving on from Diggs. You're not going to have both of them there. There's not going to be a team in the NFL that got in the top two paid cornerbacks in the NFL. I think people need to understand, within the salary cap era, you're not going to have a position group where you got the top two or top three, 1 and 4, and top paid guys in the position. That's not going to happen. That's really not smart. That's why you're not going to have 2 of the top 10 receivers that's getting paid in the league on the same team.
on the
that
same team.
may have
The only way you
Yeah.
can have this is unless Jalen say, what do you call those one-off years? Like I'll go here for 1 year deal, kind of like what Bradbury did. And I'm not calling him a top DB, but he was serviceable enough to allow the opposition to think. You got Slay on one side, you got Bradbury on the other. And I'm not saying that Bradbury is a fierce guy, but how that it worked, it was just for 1 year, because now Bradbury is looking for his coins. That's the only way that can happen in modern day football.
Yeah, prove a deal. Bradbury paid last year $5 million. So it was a prove a deal, and that's how teams are built. When we talk about all these, if you really dig into it, the Rams didn't spend a whole lot of money when they won the Super Bowl. They got Odell Beckham for $2 million because he was
approved it. Yeah.
And they traded the quarterback for another quarterback that was already making money. They paid a lot of big money the next year when they kept Donald and paid for Cooper Kupp after they won the Super Bowl. And now, you see where they're at now. Now they're cutting costs. So
you know what, Coach? And here's what goes against like even Bill Parcells' philosophy. Remember, Parcells came out and said once a player is thinking about retiring, he retired. You know what I'm saying? And Aaron Donald, he said, hey, he retired. He was already in the Rams. They extended themselves even further to get him up out of it, right? And they try to throw money, but sometimes money don't put that Band-Aid over the feeling of you wanting to retire.
Right, and the coach said the same thing. He was thinking about retirement. So, but that's sometimes when you win, you get to that point. But I want to say this about the Cowboys and our football team, and I don't think our football team is too far away. But you have to remember something, Law, when we talk about team building for a long period of time, and or team building for you when you're trying to build a team that's going to be dominant, not for this one splash in the pan, but it's going to have a long stretch of really being accounted for every year in the championship run for a good little while. We're talking about getting corners.
Right.
When we draft as well as we do, this is where you should think about. First round draft picks, when you make a first round draft pick, you are 95% sure that guy's gonna play right now.
Right.
He gotta start.
Right.
Okay? Well, that scale goes down. Second round draft pick, we'll give that person maybe an 80 to 75% that we think he's gonna start right now. Third round, we go down a little bit farther down. Well, as we go farther down the draft board, undrafted free agents, we're thinking that they're going to be coming up to start eventually or to get some time.
Right.
Well, when we got our draft picks here, if we don't, every guy that makes this team undrafted free agent or a draft pick that made this team, if you're not saying that they can be a starter by year 3, if you got to go out and get somebody else, or you got to go through these trades and say, well, I got to get a trade and get a guy in, and these guys are in year 3, and I'm pointing out like a Kellen Joseph or Cox, they're in year 3.
Right.
You might as well cut them. And I'm not advocating cut Kellen Joseph or Cox, but you might as well cut them because if they become a starter in year 4, now they free agents out of there.
Right. Coach, there are still people that will be looking at this. I'm talking about other GMs who might have had them high on their boards. And that's when the willing and dealing need to come at. You need to start willing and dealing those second and those third round picks that's not been playing and figuring out, can you trade them, before you cut them? That's my philosophy.
They got to be a big part. And what you're saying is the same thing I was saying, Law. You talking about trade or we got to play, but they have to be a very big part of what your thinking is, because you're at the time of their value or their value to your team as play or their value to your team of getting other assets. But you got to make that decision in year 2. Yeah. After year 2, it's got to be made now.
Right.
In year 3, you don't need to have another. There's no need to keep them as a backup because, as we know, on the back end of your roster, 20% to 25% of every NFL team back end of their roster changes every year.
Yeah.
What I have heard by the Cowboys is sometimes we take those picks And when we talk about Nello Galmo, I was talking about Nello Galmo yesterday about cutting. It's time to get off of. It's time to get off of him now. Either you're gonna get the money by going ahead and cutting, or you gotta try to trade him, where his trade value probably is not good. But you got to do something, because we can fill that back in the roster with another guy that's drafted that still got upside.
Yeah.
After you get to 3 years, if you're not productive to our team, there's no need to take you all the way to year 4, right? Because let's say if you start playing a little bit in year 4, and you get productive, but you didn't give us a long history of playing well. Now we got a decision about if we're gonna sign you in the free agent. Now you got us holding us under the gun.
Right. Ooh, Coach, you're speaking a lot of wisdom here. And the reason why I agree with what you're saying is that's been my stance on even how we work that interior. Like with Gallimore, with Tristan Hill, and the guy that we drafted with the 5th round pick, John Ridgway. I was saying that you've seen all what you've seen out of Tristan Hill at this point. You should trust your evaluation and your people. Instead of getting rid of the guy that you drafted that year, just get rid of Tristan Hill. Just go ahead and cut him. I know it's going to hurt, but just go ahead and cut him.
Well, one thing about that, Law, with Tristan Hill getting this injury, that kind of messed up that philosophy. But I'm telling you who that did fall into. It falls in Conor McGovern. We waited till Conor McGovern got to contract year. Now he starts. Now we like, do we pay him? Is this going to be long term or what? Now you holding us under gun. Yeah. If you would have played him in year 3 or the second year and really found out could he hold his, now you could have extended him before you got to year 4, because you would have been a definite know that he fits in. You can't wait to the end of a contract to start to say, oh well, he can have some value now. So that's why I'm saying I believe in Kellen Joseph. Because Kellen Joseph, I have to give the last year a wasted year, because I can't imagine him being good.
Oh my God!
With all the stuff he went through in the summertime and be concentrated on football.
No way.
This is a make or break.
Right.
So this is the time that you have to do that, because if you're trying to build into free agency and you got big name free agents, you're gonna have to go lean and with draft picks and developmental in some areas, because you can't pay top dollar in every area. And I say this right quick. Kansas City said, well, listen, they said, okay, we got invested into the offensive line. We invested in some, we let one of the receivers go, but where they went lean is, they got drafted linebackers that came up, they didn't spend a lot of money there, and they drafted and develop 3 rookies in the secondary so they can go strong money other places, but the coaching got the best out of some areas you got to go lean.
Oh yeah, coach.
That's how business goes. Yes, you got to be good in some areas where you develop, so you can go lean, but you can go heavy in some areas. But the lean areas, you got to be able to coach that up.
No doubt, Coach Marv, man. You right on the money, man. Oh my goodness, man. Coach Marv, any other point that you got before you go?
Yeah, but those are the people you need to think about. Cox, Joseph, Nashawn Wright, your tight ends, your young tight ends. You got to make the evaluation of these guys. Are they going to be starters for your team eventually? And that way you can go heavy in some areas, and that'll help our draft. But you got to know in your heart that these guys and sometimes you got to go through the growing pains with them.
No doubt. You got to go through it. Appreciate you, Coach Marv. That's Coach Marv, y'all. Put your hands together.
I appreciate you, brother.
Coach Marv, man. Yes, indeed. That's Coach Marv, y'all. That boy good. That boy good. Got a super chat down here below. It states from Paul, appreciate you so much, man. Let me zoom in so I can see this. Appreciate you so much, Paul. Headed to the SIP to surprise my mom for her birthday tomorrow. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you. Y'all know I love the Mississippi, the SIP boys in the house. Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate you, man. Do that for mom. Surprise her. I hope she's not listening to the channel. You know what I mean? She be like, I know he coming. I heard you on Law Nation show. Here's my thoughts with this. Sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid off regardless. regardless of it. I know we in win now mode, but we still have to evaluate our second-round draft pick, Kelvin Joseph. Look, we're talking about DBs now because we don't know who Kelvin Joseph is. Now, I do know in that playoff game against the Niners, he's a hell of a special teams guy. He made a special teams play, and I like what he was able to do out of that, but he gave up 4 touchdowns last year as well, 4 touchdowns. And he never got his footing together because of the fact with the whole situation of the off-season thing that I know that was playing heavy on his heart. Because, for one, I can tell you guys this for sure. Even his people, I'm talking about the people on the opposite side of the situation, they reached out to me. And I was like, look, I love the Cowboys, but I don't work directly for the Cowboys. I don't work for the Cowboys. Those are legal terms and ramifications that I don't even know, that I don't even have the answer to. You're going to have to reach out to the Cowboys legal department, etc., or, you have to reach out to Jerry Jones. But I don't have no control of what's going on with the Cowboys. But they reached out to me, and shout out to them. And I'm praying for them. Condolences, man. It takes years to get over things like that, or sometimes people never get over things like that. But I had no control of that situation. From the 832, you're live.
All right, what's up, Law?
Dog, you all right, fam? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, good.
Man, I'm about to disagree with a little bit of what Coach said in the beginning about having the 2 elite players being paid at the same time.
Okay.
Kamara and Reeves had a big contract at the same time, and like the early 2010 or whatever. And you see what that defense did under Rex Ryan.
Right.
I believe we got that same type of defensive coordinator with the Cowboys with Dan Quinn. So
okay.
It can work. Like, if you went and got that cornerback.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Crow was homegrown there, right? Him and Reeves, were they? Or Cromartie got traded to the Jets?
Cromartie came from, he came from Chargers.
Chargers, let me see. Okay.
Yeah,
and Reeves was homegrown. Yeah.
Reeves was homegrown. And
okay.
We got that same situation. We got our boy Diggs, he homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go get another top level cornerback, and like for like the list that you have put up.
Right. You talking about the?
I think we need to get rid of all the running backs, but the rookie.
Davis.
Running back.
You talking about Malik Davis?
Keep Tyron. Yeah, because like when it comes to like injured players, like I wouldn't get rid of a lineman when it comes to that, because I believe like it really not a whole lot of like for like skill players. Like it's not really that big of a deal thing. Like really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Except when like we deal like I don't want to sign no injured skill player.
I feel you.
I wouldn't be mad at a injured lineman.
Well, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though, not to cut you off, but when the Jets did that, they didn't. I don't think that all things will fit under the same umbrella. Meaning that we got other pieces, right? We got the quarterback that we're paying. We also got to pay the wide receiver. We got a running back that's getting hit with a big price tag. Like you said, you believed it not to bring back Ezekiel Elliott, just cut him and Tony Pollard. Maybe you can make some things work. But I think that, these circumstances are different. Wasn't Crow was still a young player at that time when he came over to the Jets, and Reeves was still young at that time too. Yeah. They were still young. Yeah. So it's just different. I get what you're saying, but I don't think that that's universal though.
That's what it is. If you get Lattimore out of the Saints. If you can work a way to get him, he's young.
Oh yeah. Lattimore. Now that's a whole nother subject line right there. Now Lattimore and Diggs, I think that those two guys, and of course Ramsey would complement Diggs too, but I really like Lattimore and what he brings to the table because of the physicality. Because hey, you're gonna think twice before throwing the ball his way too, and you're gonna think twice before throwing Diggs' way. So yeah, both of those things, man, would work out tremendously. It's just that they're gonna have to figure out ways to work it and finesse it. But go ahead.
Yeah, and like I said, we and then like and we kicking that contract down the road, so we saving money on that end. Like I said, you get rid of Zeke, you saving half of that $24 million or whatever.
Yep.
You're saving half of that, and you're not using a franchise tag. You're using your rookie tight end. Like, to me, the offense can kind of be set. You draft a running back, and if you can structure a deal that'll work with maybe a D-Hop or OBJ, maybe one of those, or like you said, like a Mike Williams. So I mean, not Mike Williams,
Mike Evans, yeah.
Mike Evans. So, and I believe like 2 years we can get a Super Bowl out of that, and like use the draft for defense, like for like another linebacker and work on that line to help our partner.
Well, projecting. Here's what I'm saying. And what's your name again? Let me save you this time. What's your name, fam? Jeremy. Okay. Hold on. Let me save you because I thought I saved you last time. Jeremy, here's my thoughts on this. I don't want us to project 2 years. I'm greedy. I need for us to look into this situation. If you do all of that for $59.5 million, for close to dog near $60 million, why not go all in for 2023? You know, why not go all in for next year? And then you can formulate that because it's going to be Super Bowl or buzz anyhow, right?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying going all in for these next 2 years.
Oh, for these next 2 years. Oh, I see what you said now. Oh, I thought you said projecting 2 years from now. I was like, no, man. Jay, man, you my guy, man. But I was like, no, I'm ready for it now, you know?
Yeah, I'm ready for it now, too. I'm the same way. Like, I'm talking about for the next 2 years, like, we go all in. Because, like, you're talking about, because, like, I believe that's all Dak really have left.
Right.
With how we beating them up. Like, I love that.
Right.
I don't want to never get rid of that. But how we beating them up and how the media beating them up, I just don't see it lasting too much longer with all the media pressure on the Dallas Cowboys and keeping Dak. So I feel like if we just go full throttle and we try to make something happen these next 2 years, within these next 2 years, I think that's the route to go. Because if we don't, we're gonna be starting over with another quarterback.
You know what?
See it from outside looking at it.
The difference is, Jeremy, with all of this, and I'm glad you brought that point up, is most teams would have the pressure not just on the quarterback, but also they would have the pressure on the GM. Like for these next 2 seasons, it would have been like, hey, come on, GM, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. You can't just say it's the quarterback fault or it's the running back fault, etc. It would be on the GM too. But the Cowboys, they had created a system, whereas they get like the front office and everybody, they get resolved of all of that. You know, they don't get accused for anything. It may get accused for it, but it don't hurt them. Nobody's getting fired, right? Only the player get the blame. And that's the problem with the Cowboys collectively.
Yeah, and I agree 100%, like I said. But, like, we can make some moves like that and just get this ball rolling because I just don't see Dak lasting, man, with how it's going.
True.
With the fan base and the media, I just don't see it lasting. We just got to maximize, see what we got with them.
Right.
Go from there.
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate you so much, man, for calling in, Jay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Cowboy Nation, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it. That's from the 832 from Houston, right down the street there. All right, and here's my thoughts. Yeah, somebody said, man, Dak, Jeremy Martin says Dak takes all the bullets. Yeah, he's going to take the bullets because that's just how it goes. Whereas if it was any other team, shoot, It would have been something else. It would have been someone else that would have been able to take some of that, as far as especially on how we dropped the ball on getting rid of Amari Cooper for a fifth. And I know I hate when we bring up, Amari Cooper, it's been a year now. Somebody going to argue, hey, Law, it's been 2 years now, dog. Let's round up. Right? A Cuban boy, my bad. Sub-Law, he says draft JSN. That's the Ohio State wide receiver. Use free agency to sign B. Wagner, that's Wagner. Okay. Offensive line, a running back. Okay. Tough decision, but let TP go. Cut Smith, restructure or cut Zeke, and DC for life. I appreciate you, man.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah. All right, we got somebody else that's waiting, man. I don't know what happened to Chris. He must have had to go. But I got this person from the 223. You are live. Talk to me, man.
Hey, what's going on with you, Law?
Nothing to it.
Hey, man. I think we need to focus on that defensive tackle.
Who that be?
Focus on getting the Ron Payne.
What if he's franchise tagged? Then what would be your next move? Because I think that's where the Washington team is leaning on, franchise tagging him.
I think I'm willing to give a first round for him.
Oh, if they do the tag with tender, I think that would normally go for that caliber would be a first and a second. Sometimes they'll put 2 firsts on that. Would you be willing to do that?
First and a second and extend him long term? Yeah.
For the Ron Payne?
In the contract? Yeah.
Oh man, that's look, man. I love my boys, man. Ooh, a first and a second.
Gotta make a move and then go out and go get a receiver. I think the thing how we want to know if Dallas is really serious about this year. We've seen everything that the Eagles did. They went out and mortgaged the farm, and now they got to worry about figuring out re-signing all these players. We don't need to do that. We need to just focus on all right. Try to get everything we need in free agency. So when we do go into the draft, we don't draft for need. We just draft for things that we can just build on.
Yeah. What? I know Payne was drafted in the first, right? What number was he? Was he a top 10, top 15?
He was like a top 15.
Who would be considered a Payne? Now I know it's gonna be hard to find a guy that's on Payne's level out of this draft, but man, at some point we gonna have to do our own homework. But the first and the second, that is kind of rich for me, man. Plus, got to pay the man, and then you giving weapons to the Washington team. I think the Washington team think they are probably a quarterback away, believe it or not, from going to the Super Bowl.
I'm hearing they're going all in for Lamar Jackson.
They all in for Lamar. They trying to get Lamar over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, wow. I got to hit my guy up over there, Louis T, to see what's going on. But I heard that there's nothing but optimism over there. That last game that they won, they're using that as a momentum type of deal. They beat the Cowboys. You know how that goes. And now they got Eric Bieniemy. So they are looking into it. It's very optimistic over there. But I feel you, though, man. I think that we need an interior guy. Go ahead.
What the guy was it's kind of like what the guy was just addressing. You don't want to have all your money in that one position. They're paying Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen. They got moving forward. They got to start to pay people, too. They got to start to pay. So I don't think they want to invest fully all into a tackle that's going to demand top dollar. Right.
I truly hear you out on that, and of course, rubber meet the road over there. If a calling card for them, if they're going to be any levels of successful over there, they're going to have to continue to have pressure up front. I think that their DBs, you can throw all over them, although they, we threw a pick six.
They have some good draft picks.
They do have some good draft picks.
Moving forward. And actually, like, moving forward and getting some assets. Like, they can get somebody to replace him and then get him under 4 years. And ain't got to worry about paying, like, that big payment.
I'm going to reach out to the Washington people, and I'm going to see how they feel about Payne, right? And see whether or not.
That's our big target. I think that's our big target this year.
Yeah, I would love to see Payne over here, man. I don't have no rebuttal of saying no, right? But the only thing is I don't want us to be too all in like that though for an interior guy. But I feel you. I feel you what you're saying that an interior guy like a Payne level will help out Parsons, will help out whoever we draft at linebackers and beyond. But I don't know about that. But go ahead.
I even thought about Hargraves. But you think if Hargraves leaves the Eagles, he's going to set the market. So wherever he goes, the market's going to be set, in which then Payne gets to see like what the market's going to be at. I can see a Hargrave going to a team like Arizona or a team that actually has the money to pay for a defensive tackle that's a free agent. So I think once the Hargrave moves, I think that's when it starts to happen.
Yeah, we'll find out. I know for sure Hargrave. The Eagles got a lot of Houdini tricks, but that's going to be hard for them to pull that off to have Hargrave back. He's a double-digit sack guy. So yeah, we'll find out, man. I appreciate you. What's your name, fam?
Hey, my name is Sam.
Sam. Okay. I'll put you down as Sam. Appreciate you, Sam. Thank you, fam. That's Sam Williams, y'all. Sam Williams, calling in, asking for. he feel you, That's Sam Williams. I know who that is now. Put him down as Sam. I feel you, man. Shout out to you, Lisa. Thank you for jumping in. We got another super chat, I believe. I appreciate you so much. Big Wayne or Big Win. Big Win, right? It's not Wayne, Win. We need a big nasty center and guard. Yeah. I mean, you got Zach Martin, you got Tyler Biadasz, who was a Pro Bowler, Tyler Biadasz, right? Although it's alternate, but he ain't gonna put that on his resume. He would say, "I'm a Pro Bowler, man," and then you of course gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do at left tackle, left guard, right? Are you gonna slide Terrence Tyler Smith back at guard, or are you gonna keep him at tackle? Those are things that you would have to say. Yeah, those are things you have to say to yourself. All right, I got BP Johnson, man, from the 602. You're live, fam. Talk to me.
Live Nation, what's going on, Rich?
Nothing to it, man. It's your world. Talk to me.
Oh man, I was just sitting back listening, and I heard Coach Marv come on, and I just had to jump in because I was liking where he was kind of going.
Okay.
I've been writing you and pretty much everybody else that I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly with the conversation about LVE, and that's definitely a big part of what Coach was talking about in my estimation. LVE, we didn't make LVE prove himself in the offseason. He didn't have to play in the preseason. He already knew he was a starting middle linebacker, and that's just what it was.
Right.
And I invite anybody to go turn on any preseason game from this past preseason, and then go watch any regular season game. And you tell me that them linebackers was moving in the regular season where they was in the preseason.
Oh, no. I know where you.
Preseason they was flying.
I know where you going.
They was everywhere.
I know where you
going.
Yeah.
I understand folks tend to want to lean on experience. And that's an understandable thing. You worrying about, are these guys going to be able to recognize certain things? You worrying about whether or not they're going to be able to pick up things as fast as those veterans are.
Right.
And that's kind of understandable. But at the same time, it's also regrettable. Because just like Coach Mark said, what ends up happening, you end up playing veterans who should be sat down because you want to lean on their experience. What ends up happening is you have a better player sitting behind him who never gets a chance to hit the field. And then you sit 3 years later when that dude's in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
For another team.
I'm following you, BP. I'm following you, BP, on that. Now, granted, we got to call this out. LVE gave us a good game year before last in that playoff against the 49ers, right? And then we were like, all right, cool. The Cowboys drafted XYZ players, right? We didn't get a chance to see Jabril Cox again, but they drafted my guy Damone Clark. And we was all thinking like, hey, Damone Clark, XYZ gonna do XYZ things, right? But the problem was that when we looked at everything during the preseason, this dude by the name of Devin Harper, right? Phenomenal.
Yeah, Hart played his butt off.
Hart played his butt off.
His butt off.
And then I talked to Harper last year, a couple of months ago, basically, and he's a 4-4 guy. He's a guy that'll travel, carry, chase, hook the flat. He's fast, he's elusive, and he got range. And I was looking at it like, shoot, next season it was going to be amazing to see Harp, Cox, and whoever else we draft, right? But for all of this, man, and of course LVE may come back because you got players in-house lobbying for him, like Parsons. He said he would like to see LVE come back, but we need to have a big body inside. I feel what you're saying, but the only way I would bring LVE back if we don't fool around and get somebody in this draft.
Yeah. Like, here's my thing on LVE. LVE's been in the locker room 5 years now.
Right.
He's had a captain C on his chest like the last 2 or 3. So obviously he's respected in that locker room to a good degree.
Right.
That being said, LVE is a placeholder who he's done his job at this point. LVE should not be a priority for this team in free agency, in my estimation. If we're going to sign him, we can probably sign him a good 3 weeks in. You know what I mean? Give him a chance to let that market, let him know where his value is really at before you rush to hurry up and get that boy some money. That's what I'm saying. I feel more comfortable with LVE being the 4th linebacker than with him being the Mike.
Oh, true that. I mean, last year they literally told LVE, test the waters, see what the market say about you, and 31 other teams said, you know what, LVE, we don't like you, and he came back with his hat in his hand, and he took that deal, that $2.5 million deal for 1 year, and I think it was a little less than that. So this year, I don't.
Was the incentive to get him the 3,
Yeah. So this year, I don't think everybody's gonna pass up on him.
I'm a big fan of you and the guys on the final word. And I don't know how many conversations we had on the final words about LVE being a catcher. He doesn't attack the line of scrimmage too often. He got maybe 3 games that I can think of this past season where he did it on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? But the numbers came in. LVE ranked last among all linebackers in the league in terms of his depth of tackle. The ball carrier got further downfield before LVE tackled him than any other linebacker.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to sit up and act like I'm happy and with his performance when we just cut a dude who had 150 tackles.
Right.
And you guys are going to sit up and act like his 90 is supposed to be impressive when they're further downfield. He's tackling where the safety's supposed to be tackling.
Right. Now, I'm following you, fam. I'm following you. Let me ask you this before I let you go. LVE, did he play better than Anthony Bardo?
Oh, yeah, he did. Anthony Barr was one of the people who was burning the table to find him. I had no idea he had fell off as far athletically. Honestly, my thinking was that they was going to put Barr in the middle and let him just bang. I didn't think we were going to ask Barr to run around and be an athlete.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't have been pushing for that.
Right.
But, LVE and Barr, I think both of them
got to go.
All they had. I respect them for it, but it's time for a change.
Both of them got to go regardless. And I'm looking at it like this: if the Cowboys go grab a Trenton Simpson or a Drew Sanders or somebody along those ways, I think that this team will be remarkably better at that spot. But before we do all of that, we got to get better inside. And I'm talking about big boys down up front. Yeah.
And I love that big boy that everybody keep talking about bringing in here, Bland and Justin Hargrave and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we all just be honest with ourselves and say first things first? We need to make sure we get Hankin back on that dotted line.
Oh yeah, oh man, shoot. I always throw in. I tell my boys the other night, hey man, just be sure to add Hankins in, but you got to think. Don't add Hankins thinking that he's going to give you 60. That's not going to happen. He's going to give you about 30 snaps, 30 reps a game, but you got to make sure that you go into this thing getting somebody else younger to add into the mix, man, and this Cowboys front will be nasty. I appreciate you for calling in, BP. Thank you, man.
All right. Hey, Law, it's DP, man.
Oh, my gosh, man. Let me hold on. Delta,
Like I told you, like a bottle of champagne, man. I got named after a bottle of champagne.
You got named, okay. Father knew what he was doing that day. You know what I mean? All right, DP. I got you, man. I got you now. Appreciate you, fam.
All right.
That's a good call.
Have a good one, Law.
You as well, man. I appreciate him following the channel and everything. Delta Papa Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I was thinking Bravo, but Delta. All right, we got shout out to you, Lisa, for the super chat. I thank you. I think the world of you too, Lisa. Lisa always come out and support the nation. And also we got Big Win. He says kick Smith into guard and go get us the 300-pound center. Okay, 300-pound center, and watch Zeke look like Zeke again. No on Bobby Wagner. Oh, my goodness. All right, so, look. Here's what I look at with Bobby Wagner. It's a yes and a no for me. Upon further review, a man have a right to change his mind. And this is what my mind say with Bobby Wagner. And let me say this once again. My mind say, go give us a Bobby Wagner, right? But my heart also say, hey, Bobby Wagner, you got to come with a lesser price, man, because of the money, right? But here's real talk with this. Bobby would be a good spot for the Cowboys after we go through our draft. I don't want us to have clouded judgment when we go into this draft because we got a Bobby on this team. I want us to go into this draft with our mindset to improve this team. And then if you don't find a way to get said person that you really, really want out of the draft, then you pick up the phone and you say, Bobby, come on home. You know what I'm saying? To Dan Quinn's system. I that's just how I look at it, and that's the thought track of that. Will Bobby help this team? Yes. Is Bobby watch? No. I just believe that you don't want to cloud your judgment and bring in a guy like Bobby and you fool around and pass up the next Bobby. That's how I look at it. Let me know if y'all agree with that. You could still probably, I just don't think the Cowboys operate this way. You can still go into this draft, right, with Bobby on the roster already saying, hey, a bird in your hand is better than two in the bush philosophy. But I just don't think that the Cowboys operate that way. So I see that y'all agree, and I appreciate you. Big Win says Gilmore, Hankins need to upgrade. Hankins need a upgrade on the defensive line. Yeah. So Hankins and Gallimore, I think he's gone. All right, I got Rico Suave over here from the 919. What's on your mind, Rico?
What's going on, Law? How you doing this morning?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
That's good. Same here. Law, let me ask you something.
Talk to me, man.
Did you think that Cowboy defense played good enough for us to win the Super Bowl last year? Did you think that defense played good enough to beat the 49ers last year in the playoffs?
The defense to beat the Niners last year?
Yes. Was it good enough to beat the Niners last year? Did they keep us in the game?
They did. I mean, you held them to 19 points, right? There were some missed opportunities out there. We didn't take the ball away by air. You know what I'm saying? There was some opportunities out there.
But if you was in a court of law,
in the court of law,
and if they ask you, did that defense play good enough in your professional opinion? Mm-hmm. Yes or no?
The simple answer, yes. The defense played good enough, right? Good enough.
That's right.
But they didn't play great. They didn't play great enough, and they didn't play elite.
I didn't say great.
No, they played good.
Great. I said good. The key word is G-O-O-W.
G-O-O-W, yeah.
That's right. That's the key word that was in that statement. Okay.
Right.
Now, what Coach Marv said this morning,
right,
is very true. Very true. It's very hard to have elite players in the same position all over the place. Mm-hmm. But it's doable. But you got to know how to, as some of your favorite, build that plane while it's in the air.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
True.
Because if you go back and look at some of the history of the Eagles, and I have my younger brother, me and both are Cowboys fans. We ain't like you and your brother. No.
Y'all both in the same. Okay.
That's right.
Y'all cry together,
yeah. But I do have.
Come on, Cowboys! Come on, man!
Yeah, man, I do have an older brother is a Washington fan.
Oh man, bless his heart, man. Bless his heart. You know? Hey, we talking about 95. He talking about 91 or something. What he talking about? 99, 1990.
But this is the one thing.
Yeah.
He's starting to walk with a pimp in his walk because a lot of their problems getting ready to get up out of there.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm getting ready to get to.
Talk to me.
You can do it, but you got to build, like you said, you got to rebuild that plane while it's in air, and you can't be scared for that plane to go through a little turbulence,
right,
before it crashes, and then put it back on the flight. If you look at the Rams, they've been to 2 Super Bowls with 2 different quarterbacks, and most Missouri, but they knew how to. They had a GM that rebuilt that plane in the air,
right,
before it crashed. But that's because that team, the Rams, had a GM that knows what he's doing. Everybody's in the same place as on that good old movie Drumline. One beat, one sound.
Right.
Eagles went to 2 Super Bowls with a backup and another quarterback. One lost, one came close, and rebuilt that plane with air. And they had the turbulence. And dipped one time real bad. We laughed at it.
Yeah.
But look where they are.
Yeah.
Our problem is still going to be, and you can have all the shows, you can have all the final words.
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
You can, until Jerry Stephen Jones put some folks in there that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the same song, just a different dance.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is well, because this is one thing I pray that I hope they do.
Right.
Don't extend Dak. Keep Dak where he is. let Marty give Mike McCarthy the keys to the car. Bring in Brian Schottenheimer. Put everything.
They got Schottenheimer. Yeah, you got Schottenheimer there.
That's right. And say, look at here. We're gonna be on one beat, one sound. Coach him up. Give him some hard coaching, and then hope that, and cross our fingers and hope that Stephen Jones will go to Bloomingdale for once.
Hold, Rico. You was doing the layup thing, but you missed. How you gonna do that when you gonna have $49 million in dead cap? You can't be in nobody Bloomingdale. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't. Because there's other ways to skin a cat. It's the old saying. There's more one way to skin a cat.
All right, go ahead, talk to me. I'm listening.
I'm like, if we all trust in Will McClay like he said he do, Paula and Zeke, bye. Because if you look at Mike McCarthy, what he did at Green Bay, he had me and you a lot of times in the backfield. But he had the right system to make it look good. If Brian Schottenheimer was good as he say he is as a running coordinator, Paula, Zeke, bye. Unless Zeke want to come back and give us a cup of coffee, is your famous word?
Yeah.
Bye. And then I'm going to go get some receivers. and I'm gonna go get a good running step, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna skin. It's other places skin.
Oh,
But
I see
not-
what you said. Yeah. So you create cap relief. And let me just speed it up for what you're saying. You create cap relief by cutting Zeke, cutting Pollard, right? Cutting Tyron Smith, right? You can save about you'll be right under the cap, and then take that money and go. You just telling Dak, hey, dog, the writing's on the wall, man.
That's right. And I'm going to draft a quarterback.
I'm gonna draft the quarterback. Okay.
That's right. And then I'm gonna look and say, as old my daddy used to tell me, son, you either got to crap or get up off the pot.
Oh, okay.
Because if you look at the history of the NFL quarterbacks, if they don't win you one of their first 7-8 years, 9 times that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. You got to trade them off so they can win, like Matthew Stafford did.
That's right. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to say is, Matthew Stafford won one because he went to a different scenery.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. I was at my cigar lounge.
Okay.
And I take up for that. People, I'm not a Dak hater, but I look at it more than through one lens. I tell everybody, I say, I take my hat off for what Dak has done in Dallas because of the dysfunction down there. Because there's dysfunction down there.
Okay.
But then at the same time, I see things Dak do when the play call is right and when things is right, and he do things in big concerts that I look and say, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Man, this is either Kellen Moore or it's either Dak. Kellen not one our problem. We got rid of one.
Okay.
Now we got to see the other one's the problem. That's why I said I'm not gonna give Dak nowhere.
Yeah.
Because then I'm gonna sit here and say, Dak, I'm gonna put Dak back against the wall now. But I'm gonna give him all the opportunity. He's not gonna look and tell me I didn't support you. Same thing with Mike McCarthy.
So after you just land the plane, but make that make one more point before I let you go, because you made a brilliant one. You got me thinking. Yeah, go ahead. Okay,
because this is the thing. All them points that I'm making. Each one of them teams I just talked about, the plane didn't ever crash, but it's turbulence and it came and it looked rough for a year, but the GM was quick enough and smart enough on his feet to get it back in the air, rebuilding that plane.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you so much for calling in, Rico.
Do Stephen Jones Jerry, don't you trust him to do that?
Nah, man, you talking about money now. You know what I'm saying? That's outside of, like, I think I got my guy Chris Money in the house, man. He's one of the guys that always play the Illuminati music, man, about the NFL being rigged. I think that's too much money, man, to be shuffling around about cutting away some things like that. Tony Pollard and Zeke and Tyron Smith. It's very much so plausible that the Cowboys can do that, but the reality is that Stephen Jones don't have the cojones to do that. No.
There you go, because he don't have because he's not a good enough GM to do it. That's why.
Well,
because if you took away Will McClay from that front office, let me tell you what you got. You got the late 90s and the early 2000s, 5 straight years of 5-11.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you so much, Rico Suave, man. I appreciate you for the 919, man. That's Rico, y'all. All right, so let me expound upon what he's saying here, and I love to listen to people's thoughts, man, that think different from me. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that Rico is wrong. But it do raise the people's eyebrow up just a little bit. You know what I mean? It raised it up to a degree, whereas now you can look at it and say, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, if they do that, oh my goodness, you would literally, everybody would see the writing on the wall. You draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds, you fool around and don't extend Dak, you cut Zeke, you cut you don't bring back Tony Pollard, and on top of that, it would be like literally, you cutting Tyron Smith. That's a lot of people be looking at Dak like some of the diehard Cowboy fans, they would be looking at it like, what is going on, man? You know, that would be very, 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 very different approach. Here we go. Matt says, why can't we try to get both Wagner, LVE with $60 million in the bank? We have found the money. We get a decent DT for a decent price. Yes. So Yeah, you would bring back Wagner and LVE. Now, that's an older team, too, right? You know, I feel you, man. I feel you. I don't think LVE would then be a backup, right? I wouldn't think of a way that you would continue to bench Damone Clark and bench Jabril Cox. Why'd even draft those guys if that's the case? And Devin Harper. It goes all the way back to what Coach Marv said, Matt. So, yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. And next we got another super chat. Check out Matt Landers, Arkansas wide receiver. I'll check out Matt, okay? Big win. Thank you for the support there. I'll definitely check out Matt Landers. I haven't even checked him out, but I will check him out. This is from Matt, too. He says, really think it's that easy to replace Dak? Peyton Manning won in his 9th year. Malik Brown, an all-rookie running back. That's kind of dangerous, dude. You know, yeah. So it's a two-part conversation to your super chat. I appreciate you. Let me give you one of those sirens. So what he's saying is Matt is saying is that you think it's really that easy to replace Dak Prescott. It took Peyton Manning 9 seasons, right? And Malik Davis with all rookie running backs would be a pivotal mistake. I think that what Rico is saying, that basically you would not extend Dak. You take the $49 million dead cap hit or what have you, and then you will utilize the resources that you would get from cutting Zeke, not extending Tony Pollard, and also cut Tyron Smith, waive or cut Jordan Lewis, and then use that money to repurpose it elsewhere. I mean, that would be risque, you know. This from Big Win, Will McClay. It's a double word. Will McClay. I was trying to read it as Will McClay, but it's Will McClay is the GM. No, he's not the general manager. You know, he's not the general manager. You know, Clark and Cox over LVE and Guilford. Yeah, you put more speed out there if you do those two moves. Appreciate you, Big Win. Appreciate you. All right, we got another caller that's on the line that's been waiting patiently. Give me a few seconds. Let me bring the caller up. And it will be from the 815, Brandon Ross. You live.
What's up, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief, man. Talk to me, man.
Man, first off, how you doing? Love the show.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for jumping in.
Man, I had a great, I was like, man, I'm going to tell Law my little wish list of free agents, what we should do with the defense. But then y'all get to doing this stuff that I know you really,
what's going on? Talk to me, man. Get it out.
Because you do this little thing that I know you do. Like, I watch your show religiously. But you do this that I know you do. Like, you try to somehow back alleyway. Yeah, it really wasn't Dak's fault. That's really what you want to say. Because I think the caller before, he was going good. I think he got lost in the sky. He asked you, what did the defense play well enough? You know the answer is yes, but this what you did.
What did I do?
Yeah, they probably should have held him to 2 points. That way, Dak could have won the game.
Wait a minute. Hold on. All right, so let me ask you this: the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Chiefs. You think that if Joe Burrows didn't throw those 2 interceptions, would they had a better chance of winning that game? Yes or no?
Of course they would have a better chance of winning.
All right, so if the Cowboys versus the 49ers, if Diggs picked that ball off, would we had a better chance in that game, right? You know, of course. So yeah, it's like when I'm listening, to people, I'm also like Doctor Strange, right? You know, Doctor Strange think of 1,000 ways to beat Thanos, right? And I'm also looking at it when he said, did the defense play good enough to win? The answer was ultimately yes. They didn't, and it's 2 spots ahead of good, right? Great and elite, right? So the defense was average at best when you say that, right? Now, hear me out with Dak Prescott. Did he play good enough to beat the 49ers? The answer is no, he didn't play good enough. He didn't play at elite status nor great status, right?
You know that.
Right. But the previous week, what status did he play at? Against the Bucks.
8 wins.
No. You can't have it both ways.
Y'all can have fun disrespecting me after I talk, but we gonna talk facts. We're gonna talk facts when me and you on the phone. I let them other people getting away with repeating stuff Lauder said 100 times. Oh, now this other thing it did me. Law wanted to so bad compare Dak Prescott to Patrick Mahomes. His second Super Bowl later, you can't do that no more. Now it's comparing him to early Peyton Manning. Well, Peyton Manning didn't win his first Super Bowl to 9 years.
9 years later, yeah. And at this point, they both 2-4. Like you say, 2-4 Dak. Peyton Manning was 2-4 Manning. You know what I'm saying? At the same point of their careers, they both 2-4 in the playoffs. Believe it or not, you know. No disrespect to Peyton Manning, though. By the way, you know.
You know, some of your delusional listeners who don't really know nothing, they just listening to you, so they repeat what you say. They don't understand that you know that Dak not even in the same class as Peyton Manning. But some of your other callers will repeat that line. You be like, well, Dak and Peyton, they on the same trajectory, so they probably the same player.
Wait a minute.
All I'm saying.
Well, hold on. And now, my whole point here is yes. So if Dak, hold on now. I got to tell now that you open that up, I got to let everybody know the whole storyline about that. Now, who is in the same class of Marvin Harrison since Dak Prescott been the quarterback here? I would give you CeeDee Lamb is a maybe, right?
Yo, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb's a maybe, but
I was gonna say maybe, but I know how y'all, some like to play words.
Yeah, I know they had to play with words, right? So who is in the class of Dallas Clark and who is in the class of Reggie Wayne?
Can I answer that question? Because y'all love to tell me. Okay. Y'all love Dalton Schultz. I'm not saying Dalton Schultz is a bad player, but y'all love him. And Dallas Clark, last time I checked, is Dallas Clark a Hall of Famer?
I think he is. Dallas Clark, y'all can put that down in the chat. You know what is that?
I do agree he a great player, but let's not act like y'all tell me Dak Prescott, his wave connection with Dalton Schultz is unmatched. So let's not act like y'all don't be hyping Dalton Schultz up. Is somebody comparable to Reggie Wayne? No, but y'all love T.Y.
Wait a minute, hold on. We had T.Y. The man was like 50 years old when he came here. But I get what you said. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this, Brandon. And I feel you, man. You know, I got nothing but love for you, bro. So I feel you. Let's just take that. Let's take Dak versus Peyton Manning and put that on the shelf. We will see how that look. Put that on the shelf, man. We ain't having a conversation about that no more. But I just know that Peyton Manning had a loaded team, and of course Dak Prescott had a loaded team. Right. If y'all want to go that way, right. Y'all can go there. All right. So what you got about this conversation today? What's your points? Because I got to go at 12:30. I got to be somewhere at 12:30. So talk to me, man.
I know, because you're going to run me off. So
I ain't going to run you off. Talk your points.
let me get my stuff out. I think Michael Brockers is out there. I believe he just got let go from Detroit. I think that would be a good pickup. Please stop saying, oh, for the right price. Jerry Jones has to make connections with people. Of course it has to be the right price. You're not going to sign somebody and be like, oh, we don't like that price and do it anyway, only with Dak Prescott. But you know you're not going to do that. Michael Brockers is out there. Go get him. Team him up with Hankinson. Go get Jalen Ramsey. Why not go talk to Jalen Ramsey? Why not go talk to Bobby Wagner? It's people out there. You do not have to break the bank to go get people, but at least go talk to them. One thing we do know, Law, and I think you agree with this, it's reported that the Cowboys want to talk to this person. And then the player, he'll get signed, and what he'll say, the Cowboys never even called me. Can we at least call some people and talk to them and actually try to sign them? That'd be the biggest problem. Let's go all in on defense. That's been my thing. I don't care about offense because we know if the one person is good, the offense is gonna be great. So I'm done talking about offense. It's about going in on defense. I think we'll be elite if we do this. I think we're going to have to be. You led the league 2 years in a row in turnovers. You're maybe top 2, top 3 in sacks the last 2 years. So you got to, at this point, you got to turn your defense into elite status. How about them Cowboys? I love this show.
Appreciate you, man. That's my guy, Brandon, man. That's my guy, Brandon, right there, man. All right. Before I touch on this point, man, before these super chats go away, let me do this too, because I got
the conference has been locked.
This for Brandon though. This for my guy Brandon, man. Look.
I got nothing but love for you, baby.
Let's put some blue hearts in the chat for you, boy. You know what I mean?
Love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, baby. Got nothing but love for you,
baby. Thank you. All right, so Michael Brockers, man, he's been no good since 2020, since the pandemic. So I feel with what he's saying, the overall philosophy that he's out there. Unless he's coming in as a coach, I would move far, far away from Michael Brockers. Now, I do know that if the Cowboys do pick up Brockers or what have you, it will be breaking news. It will literally be the most clips that anybody would see. Breaking news, out of Frisco, Texas, the Dallas Cowboys signed Michael Brockers. It will be breaking news. It will be tons upon tons, clips or what have you. But I would have a soft pass on Michael Brockers. You know what I'm saying? But I feel with what he said. Put defense. I love defense more than I love offense. So let's get this defense going. LT says, what it do, Law? What free agents would you want, and then what would be your top 2 draft picks in a perfect world or not? Here's my free agent guys. That's not even a free agent. Lattimore would be my number 1 guy. My number 2 guy would be Dayron Payne. If you guys can figure out a way to get him over to this team, those would be my first 2 looks right there. Far as the draft concern, like a Jalen Carter, if somehow, they find some stuff on him and he falls to the 26th pick, that would be my ideal guy, but I don't think we'll have a chance nor a situation nor a scenario to draft a Jalen Carter. Also, I do like the Jalen Hyatt kid, a fast guy, but it is way too soon for me to give you guys my draft hopes and wishes or what have you. It's way too soon. So, and like I said, Jalen Carter will be gone way before the 26th pick, right? But you've seen stranger things happen, right, in the National Football League. All right, so I'm going to make sure that these 3 people get a chance to speak before I rock up out of here. All right, and shout out to you, Big Win, Clark, and Cox over LVE. You're right. Let's see. I'm fine with Wagner and Clark. Yeah, Clark. Yeah. That would go real hard for us. All right, so Combine is coming up in a few, but let's get the VIP hotline for your mind. You ready? Talk to me, man.
Lord VIP, baby.
Yeah.
Lord. Look, I got nothing but love for this guy, but Lord, the first time this dude ever made any sense when he was talking about put all the chips in on defense. I'm not even going. You already know. Don't talk about my quarterback. I already told him about that, so we're not going there.
You're right.
Because we got nothing but love. This is a love show.
But love. What's good, man?
But Law, what I don't like, Law, I don't know if it's out there yet, but in New York and around this way, they got this zombie drug where people are just zombied out.
Right.
We got a lot of zombies in Cowboy Nation. If y'all think getting rid of Zeke, why don't we just get rid of the whole team and start all over?
There you go.
What are we doing, Law?
Yeah. All right. So here's the world right here, VIP. You got 6. If you get rid of Zeke and if you cut Zeke and cut Tyron and restructure Zach, Jordan Lewis, you have $60 million, right? And extend Dak. Would you rather have the $60 million without Zeke, or would you rather have figure out a world and possibility to keep Zeke? What's your thoughts, man? Talk to me, man. Holler at me.
See, Lord, when it comes to the money, I always follow the money. So I totally agree with that cap. Like, we definitely need a cap space, but are we going to use it in a way that we're going to, if we replace Zeke, if we cut Zeke, how are you going to replace him? And just like when we cut Amari, we never replaced him. So there is no replacement for people like Zeke.
Okay.
Who's going to pick up that third down blitzer?
Right.
So I think his price, even though he's not worth his salary cap now, there's something, and what you guys were delusional about. Jerry loves Zeke. Jerry already came out his face and said he loves Zeke. So there's going to be some way that he can make this cap hit where it can be friendly for. I would like for Zeke to take a cap, for him to take a cap friendly deal, somehow sign TP to a 2-year, 3-year deal where he's not $10 million against the cap, and then we start from there. Because like you said, Zach Martin, he can get his restructured. If we got to let Tyron, unless we know Steele is on course to be back right by week 1, that's a hell of a hole for somebody to be on Dak's blind side. I don't know, Lord, man.
I feel you. So this is what we're gonna do. It's still too soon. It's still March right now. It's still February. I meant to say. I'm already heading into March. It's still February, and they got a long way to go, fam. So when we would know more about this team when draft time come around, of what they're going to do and all of these sorts of things, especially about the June 1 and the post-June. Like cutting Zeke and Tyron would save the Dallas Cowboys pre-June 1st, $14.44 million. That's close to $15 million. Post-June would be $24 or $25 million. So we would know all of those things, man, more as the time manifests itself into what it is, bro. That's just what it is.
And as far as Bobby Wagner, I think that's a must. A D tackle, I would love Payne. But I know we got to make some salary cap room for him. But we all know that the salary cap is fugazi. It don't really exist. They got $2 billion deals in the bank coming up within the next 2 years. So you can't tell me we can't move and shake that money around to make this pop off. I don't believe that. I watch other teams do it, Lord. So you can't tell me it doesn't exist.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I got nothing but facts with this about what you're saying about the way the fugaziness of the salary cap and everything like that. But the only problem is the guy that is in control of that is very conservative.
Yeah, Steven
Jones. Yeah.
But Jerry said something last year, and I think he's going to jump on it this year. Remember last year he kept saying before the draft, oh, we're going to make a splash move. We're going to make a splash move. And Steven was in there in his ear, no, Dad, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So I think this year, Jerry want to take the gloves off a little bit and make, because we have to. If we're in a division with these B-girls, so we have to do something to you. I mean, I don't even want to give these dudes credit, but they got 2 first-round picks.
They do.
We have to do something, B.
You do, man. I appreciate you for calling in, fam. Any other thing you want to go over before I let Miss Queen come in?
Oh, hi, Queen. Shout out to all my ladies. I do want to say one thing. I studied our head coach. He worked wonders with Cobb. I wonder if he could turn my turn-up into Cobb. He's got the whole offseason to mold him. Can I see turn-up take some of them Cobb routes? That's what I want to see.
Oh, I think he can, man. I appreciate you for calling in. Let me hear you say it, fam.
Law, you already know what it is. How about them Cowboys? I ain't a killer, but don't push me, B. It's all love, baby.
No doubt, man. That's VIP, man. That's the hotline for your mind. Stargazer says, Law, what are your thoughts on Tremaine or Trey Edmonds? Yeah. Also, Dak led the #1 offense for 2 seasons in a dysfunction, dysfunction. Yeah. Imagine what he will do in a West Coast offense, basically. Extend Dak. So with what she's saying is that Dak Prescott did all of those things with a coordinator that was drawing up plays with crayons. How would you think he would do it now in the West Coast scheme, system, things that are already put into place? I think that if you look at Russell Wilson's numbers from 2018 through 2020, I think that what Dak is going to do, but better, in my opinion. Law, what are your thoughts on Trey? I think Trey will be a great asset to the team. And matter of fact, I like him over Bobby Wagner because of the youth. And I think that he will be a great asset for this team. That's a good point right there. So I appreciate y'all, man. Let's go. Let's go with Shisha Queen to be. You're live, Queen.
Hey, what's going on, Law?
Nothing much, chilling, relaxing, about ready to...
Hi, VIP. I heard you telling me hello. Good afternoon. Yeah. I just called because I heard Big Mouth on the phone with his same old mess. And so I decided to call in. I think that guy, he probably, makes a comparison. He's so OCD, he makes comparisons, and this is kind of nasty, of his boogers. You know what I'm saying? To see which one's more... I know it sounds nasty. Which one is more crusty? Which one is more,
right?
Such. That's how OCD he is in reference to Dak Prescott.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Instead of keeping them to have factual information about these things, he just looks at them, puts it in his mental so-called Rolodex, and then he throws them away. Just like you constantly give him information, stats, true stats, analysis, and everything else about certain things that you talk about, especially in reference to Dak, which is what he calls about every single freaking day.
Right.
And instead of taking these things and keeping them in his mental Rolodex so that he can have factual, true conversations with you when he calls your show, and get off his high horse when it comes to Dak, he just throws everything away like you never said nothing. It's the same old shit. I'm sick of him. Anyway.
Yeah, I know you're sick of him.
He better quit calling me names, too, because you don't know me, brother. Wherever
Yeah.
you at,
Yeah.
I can find out. Anyway, I hope that Jerry and Steven do what they're supposed to do this year, because last year and the year before, they did not make necessary findings that they needed to make sure that we had a solid juggernaut team.
Right.
We need a juggernaut team. And Jerry said that we didn't know the size of the check that he would write in order for him to get another Super Bowl. Well,
Right.
Jerry, it's time. You know, you ain't getting no younger.
Right.
It's time. And so I hope, you know, I'm not getting my hopes up too high, but I pray that they do something sensible this year in that area, since they've seen that it does work to at least get you in the door of the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And also, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have gone back and I have listened. I'm not all the way through all of them, but I have listened to all of the final words from before the season of 2021.
Wow.
And, yeah, so some of the conversations that have been had in reference to Zeke totally contradict everything that the OC and Big Game James are saying right now in reference to Zeke. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Because they're like, we need to get rid of him, so on and so forth. And so all the arguments that they had in reference to us keeping Zeke and, you know, the facts about how things have gone throughout these last 2 years in reference to his couple of small injuries and how he performed under what's his name, Kellen Moore and stuff like that. They don't even. It seems like they don't even want to take none of that into consideration when they're talking about getting rid of Zeke. But the beginning of the final word, you know, if they listen to what they said before, it would totally discount everything that they're saying now. And that's all I got.
Oh, all right. I appreciate you so much. That's Queen Cowboys. Yeah. She ain't no killer, but don't push her too, right? All right, so Alex, man, appreciate you. He said, shout out to Law, Shaniqua, Pookie, and Ray, DC for life. But Law, I think you on the money with the defensive tackle from Baylor. I live here in Waco, and he is a nice, but could use some improvement. Ike is a beast, can be something. Yes, indeed. I think Ike can be a real good guy for us to develop and groom, by the way. All right, so last caller here, man. I really appreciate you so much, Alex, though, for the support in the super chat. I thank everybody who gave donations today to help grow the nation. 206, you in the mix.
Hey there, Ma.
Hey, what's going on? Talk to me.
Hey, hope everybody's having a great day. I'm actually a Seahawks fan, but Wagner would be a great fit for you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Wagner would be a wonderful fit for us. Yeah. As long as the price is right, he shouldn't rob us, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a Seahawks fan, I know what kind of player he is, and he would be great.
But you know who would be great for us, too, if we can just take, and I know a lot of people want Tyler Lockett, but I'm going for that big boy over there, DK Metcalf. Just send him over here. Talk to your coach and your staff over there and send DK Metcalf over here to the Cowboys.
You know, I would actually be somewhat okay with that, only because some of the things that DK does on the field, you know, is kind of prima donna stuff.
Yeah, he do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole, I got to use the restroom. Remember, he had to use the restroom.
Sure.
He had to leave, come back.
No, scared because, like, oh no.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. How did you find my channel, man? How did you find me way in Seattle, you know, being a Seattle fan?
I think I found you, I think it was through Mark Holmes and a host of others.
Others, okay. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So Mark Holmes and maybe a few other people. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A few other people. I appreciate you, man, for being the last caller of the day. Hey, do y'all sign, before I let you roll, do y'all sign Geno, or y'all go into the draft and draft the quarterback and just forget about it?
I think we go with Geno, but draft the quarterback also. If we could do both, that would be great.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that, man. I appreciate you. What's your name so I can save you in here?
I'm Eric.
Eric, okay, I see this is saved as Eric. It got your whole government name, but I ain't gonna call you out like that. But all right, Eric, man, I'm gonna put Eric W in here. Man, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for calling in. You have a good day and a better tomorrow.
Thank you, you too.
All right.
All right.
Let's go. That's a good call from him. Great information about how, Bobby Wagner would be great for us, and he wouldn't mind moving on from DK Metcalf and give us.
Goodbye.
I wish that he had some power. You know what I'm saying over there. They say, "Hey DK, we just gonna trade you to the Cowboys for a 5th round draft pick." That would be nice, right? The universe, the football guys would be knocking at our doors in the right way, right? For something like that to happen. I appreciate y'all so much, man. I really thank each and every last one of you all for tuning in. I truly believe that the Cowboys may go with the mindset of extending Dak Prescott, and they might follow this flow chart from my guy Outlaw Cowboy. He says extend Dak Prescott for $22 million, restructure Zach Martin for $9 million, cut Zeke and Tyron, and that will be $24.5 million. Here's my only thing: I believe that they're gonna cut Tyron, right? And with Zeke, I think that what VIP said, that they love Zeke so much that they will be willing to, talk to him about renegotiating his contract, and then he come back with a different price tag, maybe $3 to $5 million APY versus what he's finna get by $16 million. I think that they may cut Jordan Lewis to save and free up $4 to $5 million. We will have $60 million, and there should be zero excuses of the Cowboys going out there to parlay. Now, my guy Rico Suave, he called earlier. He brought this up to my mind and said, hey, Law, the Cowboys could literally just keep Dak Prescott back against the wall, and say, Dak, we're going to cut all of these people, and we're not going to re-up anything with you, and we're going to see if you can just take it all by yourself, you know what I mean? And we're going to add more and more weapons by letting go Tyron, letting go Ezekiel Elliott, cutting Jordan Lewis, right? And that money should get us right at the tip of the salary cap, because we have $49 million cap hit for Dak Prescott if you cut him, right? So it could be that way. But I think that the Cowboys don't operate that way on how Rico is thinking. I don't think they would. But Dre Maddox says they cut Tyron and re-sign him for the low. That will be A1 sauce right there, because that's what the Eagles did with Fletcher Cox, right? They cut him, then they brought him back for the low. And then he was mad at the world, and he got 7 sacks this past season. I wouldn't mind that at all, because I think Tyron, he still got a little left in the tank, believe it or not. They played that brother at right tackle, and he didn't miss a beat, and he can play left tackle. That's just the reality of it. All right, Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate y'all so much. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content. If I offended anyone today, charge it to my head, not my heart. Let's continue to grind and shine. Also, a prize fighter continue to swing, even when he's down. Unless he's Jake. Did Jake lose the other day? Y'all let me know. I heard that he was out there fighting someone. Y'all let me know, did he win? Yes, indeed. What's up, Nicole? Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Blake, thank you. Jake lost in a decision. Well, I come here to tell y'all, beautiful people that's watching right now, let it not come down to the decision. Fight for what you got to. Fight for. Destroy the opposition. Demolish your opponent. Don't let it come down to a decision. Don't be like Jake. Because in his mind, Jake was saying, I was winning. And then when the final bell rung, the decision was not his. And then the excuses filled up the room. I was sick. I had Drake in the side. When Drake is on my side, we lose. I couldn't land my punches. Why? Because Drake was there. He betted $400,000 and he jinxed me. So that's the reality of it. Get those things out. Understand when you grind hard and you put it all out there on the table, there will be no decisions left from someone else. You will put it all out there on the line. And that's even with this team. The Dallas Cowboys got to get out there and make things happen. There are three types of teams out there, or people. A person, write this down, they go out there and watch things happen. A person that say to himself, what just happened? And a person that go out there and make things happen. Be that person that go out there and make things happen. Don't just watch it, and don't be the person that will fall back and sit back and watch these things and say what just happened. Don't be that person. Write that down. But if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you all hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or famish, or fame, or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset it with the help of Almighty, you will get it. But Lord, I can't. Even God will take the things that's considered to be fool and foolish and switch it around to shame the wise. He will take those things that are weak and considered less than and shame the strong. So understand that even where you are at, and they say, Lord, you are foolish with your thoughts. You are foolish with your mind. The man upstairs, the grand creator, would take those things and shame it to the wise. So won't y'all stand tall for the nation and stand tall for law? That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, You're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go and roll those credits, baby. And run it up one time for your boy.
Yeah, I just wanna run it up. Count a check or something. I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel lately.
Shout out to you, Matt, One-Handed Bandit, Common Sense. Shout out to you all. LT, thank you. Texas T, Paul, Cuban Boy, Big Win, Lisa, Stargazer, and Alex. Appreciate y'all. Salute.
Lately I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change to the safe, got blues inside.
Come on.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play.
Charge it to the
game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T, Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with A, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, I switch inside.
I gotta make a hard cut, so I gotta get on up out of here. But Jerry, it's okay, man.
You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit.
Are you not entertained?
I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal.
What is your profession?